the last episode, we looked at the spiritual and, of course, the emotional angle. Today, we are going to be looking at the economic aspect and the social aspect. And as usual, we keep saying that our stance is that premarital sex should be avoided as much as possible. Like most of the time, my wife will be the one to drum it. So do it the way you always do.
Thank you, sir. Just to reiterate that premarital sex is what we stand against. We are doing this to help those that are like victims. They are victims. The family is already going through shock because of premarital sex. So we're disclaiming, because if you don't hear this from us, you think we're trying to encourage that, don't make your daughter to suffer because she's pregnant. No, that's not what we are saying. What we are saying is we drum it to the ears of young adults. Don't go into sex before marriage. However, there's always a however, because no matter how we tell people do not have sex, do not, somebody will still do it. After all, the generation we are now. But we're talking about in a case whereby it has gone bad. What do we do? And just to also reiterate that we have some myths where we're saying, where we're talking about that it does not follow that a girl should not give birth in her father's house. It's painful, yes, it's shameful, but you can actually help the girl. She will not die. The baby will not be a vagabond. Just like they say, an outcast. The baby will not be. Nothing will happen to the baby. Keep the way. I've seen good examples of people that went through it and they came out triumphantly. So please, I think we will start today. You start with the financial, and then I'll.
Okay, yeah. Looking at the whole thing financially, most of these people, these young people, young boys and girls who are involved in this, and are people who are within the age range of from 12 to around 18, 20, 21, adolescence is there, and some other teenagers. So the two combined, you find that they are within those age range. You find that most of the time they are either students, who are still living with their parents, or they are under an apprenticeship, or maybe a young boy staying with his guardian, with his uncle, and before you know it, is going out with a girl on the street, and then such things happen.
Maybe even in school.
Maybe in school,
Yeah. SS1, SS2, they already think that they are always at health.
And usually the youthful exuberance is there, peer pressure is there. Those are things that lead people to such things, So you find that there are people who don't have financial muscle to be able to handle the responsibility of marriage.
Yeah.
So if you give out your daughters to such people, they are like babies, and then the baby that they cannot take care of themselves is still, like most of them, they are under their parents. I would say they are still sucking breast, so to speak. So they don't have the financial muscle to take care of another person. Okay, so you find that if you send your daughter to such people, you can imagine, she becomes a punching bag. Every time anything goes wrong, you transfer those aggression to this girl. So because of that, we are saying that it's not wise to send your daughter to such to marry such boys. So please, and that's what we are saying, that they don't have the financial muscle to be able to be capable of taking care of your daughter. Because many of them are under their parents, and unfortunately, sometimes in some slums area, you find that these boys are staying under their parents, and sometimes the parents live in what we call face by face, sharing just a bedroom and a parlor, sitting room, So just imagine sending your daughter to be married to a boy who is staying with his parents, who are staying in rooms. So that means that maybe the father and the mother will be sharing bedroom, and then your daughter who is going to marry their son, or maybe their grandson, or maybe any boy who has got this thing will be staying at maybe the sitting room. So the father and mother is in one of the rooms, and then this boy and his girlfriend or whatever, his new wife, so to speak, will now occupy one room. So it's a mess. And it doesn't add up. So what we are saying is, don't add insult to injury, please.
Even on the financial.
Yes.
I think in most cases you realize that these girls, they end up trying to do one or two things to sustain.
Yeah.
Because they just have to wake up to the reality that I'm expecting a baby, or I'm just giving birth to a baby, so I have to just do something to keep this, keep hope alive. And before you know it, they begin to maybe sell a character, maybe hawk. Just do menial jobs to ensure that there is something to put on the table. And then, where will she have when will she have the opportunity to go to school? When what they are using is like they're eating the capital that she even used to start the business. The capital is not there, let alone the profits. And so financially it's tight. And because the finances are tight, it goes down to the social, and that's where I want to come in. The issue of the social. The social is I think is what encapsulates all of them together, because as a result of what has happened, she will not be able to go back to school again. She will not be able to go back to school except if God helps her. Because the family is not financially okay. The blames are coming from the emotional aspect. The blame is coming from the guilt and all that. So before you know it, she will be withdrawn. And as she's withdrawn, we don't want to go to school again, she will say no. Why? There's more money. And then she tries to rationalize that there's no money. That's how her future is truncated forever. And before you know it, a time will come when maybe in the next 10, well, I'm not even saying 10 years. 10 years is too much. In the next maybe like 5 years, she meets her mates and they are just not on the same level. Wait, this task is like East and West. Why? Because she didn't finish even the secondary. She does not even have the certificate. Now she's selling so many things to keep, up her life. But then her mates, maybe those that were at the same level with her academically, are now doctors, they are now lawyers, they are now whatever profession they actually desire to be. And socially, she's not able to integrate with her peers. Those people that used to be her peers. So now she has to socialize with people of lower value, and before you know it, withdrawal comes in. If only, blame forever, aggression, and all that. And then apart from that, the ability to, we've seen people that I think I've even said this in the last video. We've seen people that disown their children. Instead of helping out the situation, you disown your children, and your children are not able to integrate back into the society. The girl is facing a whole lot. The females are always on the receiving side. We are always on the receiving side because everybody is blaming. Why did you agree? How? Why did you do this? Why didn't you abort? What? The guy is blaming. The parents are blaming. She too is blaming herself. And before you know it, self-withdrawal. And if she's not careful, depression comes in. And if she's not careful, you see people dying of hypertension and so many things because you just realize that life truncated and all that. Would you love it if your daughter that have very high vision and high ambition ends up like this? We have seen a lot of people end up like this. Would you love it like that? So we're encouraging that even as hard as it may be, please absorb the shame. Yes, there is a shame to absorb. Absorb the shame. Tell the other side that that's not the end of the life. That's not the end of life. People may blame her. You too may blame her. Yes, you have the right to blame her. But please ensure that you blame her and still use. They said you should beat with the right hand and use the left hand. Bring the person back.
Yeah, you don't throw the baby with the bathwater.
Throw the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah. When the harm has been done already, you do damage control. About life generating. And I'm speaking to parents about opportunity. Life is about opportunity. Your child, your word, your senior intelligence may have missed it before, but life is about opportunity. Be there for your child. Be there for that young girl. Let her know that yes, she has made a mistake, but you cannot, right the wrong by another wrong again. Yeah. Give her another chance. It reminds me of a statement by John Gifia, Greenleaf. It says, of all the words of pen and tongue, the saddest of it is it might have been. Many people end their lives as it might have been. So don't allow your child, your daughter to be amongst those ones that this statement holds true. That she might have been a senator. She might have been a lawyer. She can be, stand with her. She can be a lawyer. Yeah. But if you don't stand with her, she won't be. Tomorrow, some people will see her on the street, her friends will see her on the street, and they will say, oh, she could have been this. While we were in school, secondary school, she was so intelligent, she was such a good girl, she was so bright. But because of what happened, she got pregnant with Wedlock and she dropped out of school. So that thing was true for her that she might have been. So if you stand with your daughter, stand with your boy or whatever, the person will actually be if you stand by him. It reminds me, a book I read in 1999 by Ryan Huston. That time it was sent to me as a gift. The title is Get a Life. And he talked about a man in Australia who had the highest IQ at that time in Australia. He worked at a garage. He worked as a car washer, at the garage. Why? No opportunity. The man had the IQ, but no opportunity. So life is about opportunity. So please be there for your child, be there for your girl. Just be there for them. Because by being there for them, you create the opportunity for them to improve their lives, to take back their life, to get back those things they have lost. All right? So that's our message for you today.
So please don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like, and we need to hear your part of the story. We need to hear the story, so that we can relate. Thank you so much, and bye for
Bye. God bless you. Bye.